one of the most talked about debates taking over the collegiate athletic world.
Big-time college athletes
should college athletes be paid?
NCAA athletes should be paid.
Should college athletes be paid for their services to their respective institutions? Let's see what our App State men's basketball team has to say.
Absolutely, I think that all college athletes should be paid.
Yes, we should definitely get paid.
You already know we need to be paid, man.
Of course.
The commissioners will make money, the schools will make money, the athletic directors will make money, and the NCAA will make money. The only group that will not make money is the players playing the game. Huffington Post.
Time to time, should players be paid? I like to phrase it in a different fashion, which is we have this multi-billion-dollar collegiate sports industry. We have to figure out a way to fairly compensate those who are fueling that industry. Like Bernie said, what a great business model. You make billions, oh, and by the way, you don't have to pay the employees anything. How great is that? I mean, it's the only institution in America that you can think of like this, where you're making billions of dollars, oh, and by the way, you don't pay the people.
College athletes aren't employees, so there's no workman's compensation. They tell us we're student athletes because it is not a job. But it sure is a business. It is not a non-profit. Bob DeMars, former University of Southern California lineman. But what do the experts think?
The topic that keeps coming up, paying players. Should it happen? Bill Self on Monday in the Kansas City Star. I used to be totally against it. I used to be totally against doing anything other than room, board, books, tuition, and fees. But I've changed, and the landscape has changed also. It was always big business. Now it's huge business. And when you're sending players from the West Coast to the East Coast to play sports, to miss more classes, and the schools benefit from that financially, why shouldn't the people that are responsible for the business benefit? That would be the student athletes.
I find it unconstitutional that we prevent these kids, these gifted kids who are playing a violent game, from being able to earn any money for 3 years out of high school other than room, board, and tuition.
And by the way, the contract that all NCAA players sign says, we own the likeness to your image. You ready for these words? Forever and throughout the universe. Forever and throughout the universe. That's a legal phrase that's used in many, many contracts.
What they call the student athlete, which is really a myth. We got to end that. We have to come to reality. I think a lot of this has to do with perception. So many people in America see college sports as an extension, a very nostalgic extension of high school sports, right. Where the quarterback and a cheerleader have a romance and they celebrate their victory over the rivals at a malt shop. It's not that. It's a $6 billion a year industry. Last year, CBS and TBS split up $1 billion just off of March Madness. There's so much money being made, and the people who are creating this wealth do not get to participate, and they don't get to graduate, and that's a big issue.
Wandering around, I mean, what does that do to all the rest of the kids who just want to play for the love of the game?
The people that want to play for the love of the game can do that. There are intramural leagues that they can play in. The people that want to play competitively against other schools, I think they deserve to get some remuneration from what they create for the school. The school makes a lot of money. You got coaches in this country that are making like several $1 million a year, and they're not supposed to be amateurs, but the people who are actually going out there and going to practice every day, they're supposed to be amateurs. The hypocrisy is too blatant and obvious to ignore, man. Something has to be done about it.
So, in a billion-dollar business, what is a scholarship worth? On average, it's about $23,000. By comparison, a joint study by Drexel University and the National College Players Association found the average worth of a collegiate football player is about $120,000. It's about $265,000 for the average men's basketball player.
In 2008, Turner Broadcasting and the NCAA agreed on a March Madness exclusive rights television deal worth $10.8 billion.
Things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need fun. That's what I want.
one can see, the advertisements and sponsors by the NCAA are endless, and the profit made by this billion-dollar nonprofit industry will only continue to grow. So what does the NCAA think about potentially paying collegiate athletes?
The NCAA says a free education, that's payment enough.
Many of these athletes do not get their degree or graduate.
At the end of the day, the ongoing debate on whether or not to pay collegiate athletes will not be settled anytime soon. Through the constant fight that our representatives are battling for, day by day we become closer of achieving the ultimate goal of paying collegiate athletes.
I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away